life takes its own turns, it's not something so we specialize in the niche.
This is another way of life saving, and this is another way of creating a little bit more happiness in people's lives.
That 4 years actually, a lot of things changed, and medical device industry is a very fast changing industry.
Right.
We have companies around the world. India is a big market. You are an Indian. Why don't we start doing it?
Okay.
We're the only company currently in India manufacturing these mattresses in India.
Wow.
There is nobody else.
Wow.
When somebody trusts you,
Right.
you become more responsible.
Right.
Take care of one thing, complacency. And he walked away.
Yeah. Keeping all this aside, what next for Bridgeway Medical? Welcome to another episode of Bridgeway Talks. We are 12 episodes in. This is the 12th episode of Bridgeway Talks. So we are basically celebrating the so-called 1-year anniversary of Bridgeway Talks. And I think this time we have somebody who is very special, a part of Bridgeway family, again, part of Bridgeway as a group. Last time we had somebody from the educational stream of Bridgeway. This time we have somebody from the medical division of Bridgeway. So I think it's very important that he introduces himself, because it's super technical with me to understand what he does. We had a small chat in the morning regarding, what we should be discussing in the podcast. But I think it is always better for him to tell what he is all about. And it's always nice to have him, because I see him every time there is a board meeting, every time there is a meeting wherein the entire Bridgeway leadership team meets. I meet him, and it's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure to meet him, talk to him, spend a few minutes with him, because it's so enlightening about what he does. It's so enlightening. It's so positive that the way he communicates, the way he talks to us, and keeps his presence so alive among the crowd. So I would like to introduce Mr. Ashraf Thayyil. Sir, thank you so much for being here with Bridgeway Talks. You've been super busy. You've been traveling a lot. We have been trying to get dates with you for the last 2-3 months. The team has been trying to get dates with you for last 2-3 months. But it's a pleasure to have you here today. And you are the CEO of Bridgeway Healthcare. And also, I think there is one more accolade which is put into you right now as the board member and Secretary General at MedTech. I think it's the Dubai chapter, which you are the main person over there. Great. Congratulations. I think that's one big thing which is there. And I think your career span of, 3+ decades of being in this industry. Give us a brief about yourself, sir. Where you started, how all these started. Did you always want it to be what you are today, or was it something that happened during the course of time, or it was something which you always planned? This is what I want, because I believe I've seen your profile. I think 6 years in Dubai doing what you're doing. So has Dubai made you the person you are, or you always wanted to do this? Over to you, sir.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Girish, for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I always enjoy talking to you. And we always have casual discussions whenever we meet. And I like the passion, which you drive. And uh, yeah, as you just mentioned, life takes its own turns. It's
Right.
not something which I plan something, but I always had an urge to do something, which
Right.
I'm actually reaching. So
Right.
it's not that just it just flows. I focus on something, and I'm reaching there
Right.
slowly. And this is my fourth decade. I will be completing 40 years in another 2 years.
Wow.
So in 2027, if God willing, yeah. So in this 40 years, or in these 38 years, I started from Chennai.
Right.
Yeah, born and brought up raised up in Tamil Nadu all through,
Right.
and learned my Malayalam from Dubai.
Oh, wow.
You can't
So
survive.
you studied, your education was all in Dubai?
No, all in Tamil Nadu.
In Tamil Nadu, in Chennai. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
not in
okay.
Chennai, in Coimbatore.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
My father was a government servant, so
Oh.
I used to be there. And when I completed my engineering, and then I went to Dubai just for a visit, I landed up in a job in an interview, which was not really an intentional job search visit or something like that. My brother called me just to come to Dubai and see Dubai in the 89. And then I got a job. And since I was more into analytical chemistry at the time here, the related field was medical,
Right.
yeah, clinical chemistry.
Clinical
So
chemistry.
I ended up, in a clinical job where I used to sell equipments for
Nice.
clinics and
Nice.
laboratories.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then slowly that evolved, and I became more a biomedical and
Oh, very nice.
trained
Very nice.
as a biomedical engineer.
Nice. Super. Bridgeway Medicals as such, I think it is now started as a very small thing to, it's grown into a very, very big, diverse kind of setup today. Spanning, I think you have your presence mainly in Dubai, catering to the Dubai market, but I think you're also expanding into Africa, and you're also expanding into a lot of European countries. India, you're trying to expand into India with your products and things like that. What does Bridgeway Medicals actually do? What is the backbone of Bridgeway Medicals? So every time we talk about medicals, we talk about, a hospital, or, you talk about doctors, or you talk about pharmacy, or you talk about medicines, antibiotics and things like, or maybe the best we get is labs where you get your blood test done and things like that. But what do Bridgeway Medicals do is something of a question mark, because I don't think that it does any of these. It is something very different from what the general term where the layman understand medicals as.
We call it healthcare in general, and Bridgeway Healthcare has got four major divisions now. Now, at the moment, when it started as a small distribution company called Bridgeway Medical Systems in Dubai in 2004. Now, when we are 20 years, we are into retailing,
Okay.
which is a med shop, which
Okay.
is the last one, which we started in 2024.
Okay.
Then 2023, we started our manufacturing in India.
Okay.
And then we had our traditional box moving business, which is the Bridgeway Medical Systems as a distribution company.
Right.
And then we also have a rental systems company where we do home care rentals in India, which is called Because Healthcare.
Okay.
So these are the four independent companies under Bridgeway Healthcare. So when we talk about healthcare as a uh, uh, or medical device business as such, it's an ocean.
Okay.
So each department has got its own unique products. So when anybody who's selling, he's doing a medical device sales or medical device manufacturing, he's not talking about all these products which you said. He most probably would be doing a couple of products which he will specialize in.
Right.
Like if you take dental, it's an ocean on its own.
Right.
And if you talk about surgery, and each surgery has got specializations.
Right.
So Bridgeway Healthcare, when we talk about manufacturing, we only do 4 products.
Okay.
Okay. And when we do distribution, we have 3 independent segments within distribution where we do.
Okay.
And when we do rental thing, we do only few products.
Okay.
So we specialize in the niche. And one area which could connect all of these 3 is like it's wound care, which is wound management.
Okay.
Prevention of pressure ulcers and wound management.
Okay.
Second thing is rehab, which is like people who are disabled,
Okay.
making them able, like making them move.
Okay.
And children who are difficulty in doing things on when they have some problems when they're growing up. So we provide them equipment to support their growth.
Okay.
So we specialize in these areas. These are niche, and where we have our own products, where we import products from our suppliers.
Right.
And then we supply them to hospitals.
Okay.
And to centers where these are specialized.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So it's very unique.
Very unique. Very niche.
Very much needed products where when I talk about diabetic foot ulcers or pressure injuries, it's a huge area.
Right.
So,
Right.
so
Right.
we
Right.
specialize in areas
Right.
where these are much needed in India and,
Right.
and even in the Middle East.
Right. Right. What? I always wanted to understand, was this always like this, or is there a journey of wherein there was a time, the early days, when you had to put in more efforts? Today probably it would have reached a stage wherein you are, which is basically a culmination of years of work, years of hard work which has been gone in, and and there would have been ups and downs. What do you think would have been your biggest challenge to get into what you are doing right now? When I talk about biggest challenge, every business has its own challenges. I'm very sure that Bridgeway Healthcare also would have gone through a certain phase wherein it was very difficult for you to handle. Give us a brief about that phase, and how did you plan to come out of it, or how did you ever make it out of it?
Okay, it's a long journey. 20 years has been long,
Right.
and we started when I was with Astra.
Okay.
The current
Aston Martin.
yeah,
Okay.
I was in the top level of decision making in
Okay.
the Dr. Moopin's
Okay.
management healthcare management LLC, which is a company which was formed. I was the first employee of
Okay.
that actually became the Astra when
Okay.
it's renamed. When I moved to Bridgeway Group, I was the intention was to start a medical device company, distribution company based out of Dubai, and then I was alone, and I had just a fresher from the college who was helping me, and it was tough because I had a break from the medical device industry, moved on to the service industry to 4 years. So that 4 years actually, a lot of things changed, and medical device industry is a very fast changing industry. So when I came back, I was almost fresh.
Right.
So 2004, when I started my office, and myself and Jabbar, we actually started together.
Okay.
So I was on a table and just some plain sheets of paper. I was trying to draw where do I go from there.
Right.
And okay, we got some small orders and things like that, some good companies. And one company where we started in 2004 end is a company called the Royal Industries from US, who happened to sell some products in UAE, but they were not very active. So we took up that. And today, the Royal Industries in US is a large company, actually.
Right.
And we represent them in India, in UAE, in East Africa, and I just came back from day before yesterday from a show with them in Abu Dhabi, where we presented three papers on clinical, like the research which we did.
Right.
So the joint venture, not a joint venture, actually the work we do together is so strong that we collaborate in every way possible.
Right.
And we have partners across the world, like ETAC from Sweden, Hoagie from Germany, and R82 from Denmark, then the Royal from, and Uta Medical from US, True Life from Ireland. We have companies around the world who support us in our journey. And these companies actually came to us after they see how we work together, work within the hospitals. And then what has happened is the growth slowly came in, and some of these companies, not some, most of the companies are fresh to the Middle East. They did some business, but they were not having a right distributor. So we proved them that we are the right partners, and that actually bring in growth. And slowly, they actually told me to go to other countries. So Deroyal told me to come to India. It's not that because I hail from India. I didn't. So Deroyal told us, India is a big market. You are an Indian. Why don't we start doing it? Well, that's how we came.
So their confidence in what you are doing in UAE is so high that they said that you could partner them in India. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. Now, just coming to your manufacturing part, I think I was part, or in 2023, you set up your manufacturing unit in Palakkad, and we were all there for the inauguration of that facility. Now, when you talk about manufacturing, you said you have 4 products, right? I think just give us a thing on what are these 4 products. Not too technical, just for layman's term, what are these 4 things what you make, and how effective or how useful is it for people, for the layman to understand what these 4 products are. And it's made in Kerala, so I think it's more than made in India. It is made in Kerala. So I think, what are these 4 products?
Yeah, it is meant for layman, so it has to be understood by layman. Pressure ulcers, which are called bed sores, are a huge problem. So we manufacture mattresses to prevent bed sores. Any person, even as healthy as any of us standing here, is can be or can develop a bed sore if they lie on a bed for like 2 days to a week.
Continuously,
If we are having some problem and we're lying down, we would get bed sore. And once the bed sore happens, that skin, that tissue is always weak, and you tend to develop another bed sore in the same place. So data says that every person who's above 60 or 70 or having a diabetes as a problem, they have this tendency to get bed sores. We have products which prevent those bed sores. So we have mattresses, which are very specialized mattresses manufactured in Palakkad, which are of international standards. And I'm proud to say that we're the only company currently in India manufacturing these mattresses in India.
Wow.
There is nobody else.
Wow. Nice.
Rest of all has been imported.
Right.
Second thing, we manufacture a pump called DVT pump, which is already manufactured by a couple of product companies in India, as I know, but I don't know how indigenous they are.
Okay.
We have our own technology, and we have a DVT pump, which is to press your calf muscles to pump the blood to your upper body, so that the circulation, it prevents actually deep vein thrombosis, which is clotting of the blood in the lower limb.
Okay.
So I'm just putting it in a layman term.
Okay.
Pressing your calf so that the blood could be pushed up,
Okay.
so that you don't have a blood clot in the leg when you're lying down on
Right.
long term,
Right.
and also to prevent the pain.
Right.
Third product is a unique device. Again, probably the first of in India, where when a lady delivers a baby, there is always a possibility that they have excessive bleeding on some cases.
Right.
It's called postpartum hemorrhage.
Right.
So there are cases where you find, even recently I heard in Trondheim, there is a doctor who died because of the excessive bleeding.
Excess bleeding.
So we have a device which can actually prevent these bleeding,
Okay.
and it also saves the blood for a lady when she is delivering a baby, because normal course of delivery there is a tendency to lose some blood.
Right.
It's okay to do that.
Right.
Technically, medically, they consider up to 500 ml of blood. If it goes, it's fine.
Right. Right.
Nothing, no harm to the body.
Right.
But we say, why do you lose that? Actually, if the lady can retain it, her RBCs will be better, and she would have a better, healthier life. So we try to reduce that. So we call it minimum blood loss delivery
Okay.
unit. This is the first of its kind concept, where retaining that blood loss,
Right.
or preventing that blood loss, and then stopping this PPH to happen. So this is, and we have our own technology for that.
Okay.
And which is being patented now. And this is the third product. Fourth
Right.
product is to support our wound care again. We have recently developed, which we just recently, day before yesterday, we launched in Abu Dhabi.
Right.
It's called the negative pressure wound therapy system. Amputations happens everywhere in India and all over the world.
Right.
So this device actually can stop the deterioration of wound, and to help the wound heal faster.
Okay.
And large wounds, which cannot be healed by like with the dressing.
Right.
So some of these wounds are like very difficult to see.
Right.
Amputation of the
Right.
amputation of the leg,
Right.
and they don't heal easier. So we have a device which can actually facilitate that faster. Now, the nice thing about this, we have now a unique device where we use oxygen as a topical oxygen as an additional thing, which has never been used in conventional NPWT. So we have made research on that, and then we presented those research. So now we're the first company in India, probably a couple in the world, where actually we do the negative pressure wound therapy with oxygen therapy.
Right.
So we're very, very humbled and honored that we could able to develop these 3-4 devices within the span of the last 5 years, because our research actually started prior to COVID.
Right.
But we did the manufacturing plant in 2023, but our research goes back to 2017.
Okay.
So we started with this.
So the products are culmination of a huge research, which
2017,
which ended up into creating products which are, I think, very, very useful product, because I think I had seen Barbell, which you said which was the device which reduces the blood during So I think I saw that device. I even saw the mattress which you said. But I think the most important element in all the 4 products was the last one which you said today. I think that is something, because when we were discussing early this morning, I think you spoke about diabetes and its effects on people, leading to amputation and things like that, where this could be avoided by using. What a perfect product. It's I think one of the best products. And I honestly speaking, when I said when we talk about medical, we only talk about doctors. But I think this is another way of life saving, and this is another way of creating a little bit more happiness in people's life. So I think that's a great thing to know about all these 4 products. Now, coming a little bit away from medical and medicine and the technical term, Mr. Ashraf, as a leader, you today we call it startups. Today's a world of startups. Everybody is into startup. Either you bootstrap, or you get investments, or you get a VC funding and you start. You said you started this with a fresher, and both of you, basically that was 40 years back, 30 years back. When you started, what did you learn? What is a management philosophy? Today you have a team. I'm sure you have a team which is much larger, a very huge team, an HR team, a finance team. That was a time when you never had incubations. Today you have incubations wherein you can go sit, and people teach you what to do. There are companies which will tell you how to take your things forward. You never had all that, right? You came out of somewhere, you just did your thing, and you made it grow to what it is today. So what is your management style? What do you think is the factor that helped you as a management? Because yeah, the products are different, but as a management person, what are the factors, 2 or 3 factors, which made you feel this is what I did right to bring this organization to what it is today?
2004, when I started Bridgeway Medical Systems as a company, I had 15 years experience prior to that.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And that was mostly 2 years in India, and rest
Right.
almost 13 plus years in UAE, in Dubai. When I landed in Dubai, my biggest shock was Dubai is a trading hub.
Yeah,
It's buying and selling.
It is.
They don't have anything else.
Manufacturing, no.
And it was basically the none on trust basis. The Iranians, they all come to Dubai, and they do business in Dubai. So when I landed in a job there, I could see that when I went from a corporate company from here, where I had a systems and process and procedures which I learned, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So, but there are a lot of shocks also which I learned, because that's not how I think a proper company should be set.
Right.
So when at that time, I had a vision that if I have to if I build a company on my own, I will be doing this. So I made some notes, and in 2004, when I started the company, I ensured that those visions which I had in my mind, I set in practice. One is first and foremost is developing a team.
Yeah.
By giving them like delegating the powers, authorities,
Empowering.
make them responsible for it, and then ensure that I give them the enough trust, which they take it and build
Right.
it. So that's why I took a fresher.
Right.
Why I didn't take anybody from experience, because I want to mold him in such a way where he would do what I want him to do.
Yeah.
And when I talk about trust, I need to also be very grateful to Bridgeway Group, because when this company was being formed, Mr. Munir, Mr. Wahab's brother, who actually had the initial discussions, and he and me only put the framework for the company. The amount of trust he put in me was unbelievable.
Nice.
The trust which I got even today.
Right.
If I talk about Bridgeway Group, only thing I always talk to people is the freedom which you get, the trust which you get is so high that we want the responsibility of keeping it, because when somebody trusts you,
Right.
you become more responsible.
Right.
So that actually is something which I also passed on to my colleagues.
Right.
I tell them that this is what the group is all about.
Right.
This is what they
Right.
give me that. So
Right.
when you do things, ensure that this trust is
Right.
not,
Right.
like it should be 100%.
Right. Right.
And up to today, I can tell you, all my colleagues, um, they trust me and I trust them. So this is something which, and all these philosophies or principles or basic principles which I think the world stands on it, like
Right.
truthfulness,
Absolutely.
trust, and honesty and sincerity, and being walking the talk.
Right.
And these are the only thing. These are fundamental things which I
Fundamentals.
believe, and I think this is what makes us as a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I tell somebody something, they know that I say it within my from my heart, and they take it, and then I try to do my best. But we are not perfect.
We are not
Okay?
perfect.
We are not. Nobody is perfect.
Right.
I'm not an angel, and nobody is an angel.
Right.
We all make mistakes, and we should give them the space to make that mistakes, and let them know that they made
Learn
a
from
mistake
it.
and learn from it, and not to make the mistake again.
Absolutely.
The same mistake.
Absolutely.
So these are the principles, and this works very good
Absolutely.
because When you trust somebody, when you give them the ownership, they will do things. Okay, there are some people who really can't do it because of the way they've been brought up and the environment where they've been trained. But otherwise, most people they will pick up this and then learn. And I have seen my colleagues who, when they respond that we never expected that this would be given to us like that. So they hold it and they carry forward and they hand it over to somebody. So it goes on.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think we had an episode with Jabbar sir. In the first episode of this year was Jabbar sir, and I think you echo exactly what he told me that day on during that interview. The biggest factor which has made Bridgeway what it is today is purely one is empowerment. You empower your people, and empowerment is purely not just empowering. It's empowerment with the trust. I empower you to do something, and I trust you that you would do it. I think that is probably the reason which you are echoing today, and I think that is probably the reason why Bridgeway as a group today is where it is and what it is today. And of course, Bridgeway Healthcare is doing phenomenally well because of the trust factor which you have put in, and I think that's a big learning for all the new startups also, because I've been part of a couple of startups wherein you empower people, but the trust is not there. You don't entrust them, you only empower them. Entrusting, everything is questioned, everything is asked. If there's a mistake, there's a lot of issues which is cropping up and things like that. I think that is well said. I think that's a brilliant thought process, and I think that's kudos to you and your team.
One thing I want to add here is myself and Jabbar, we worked together for the last 20 years. Right. When we both almost came into the company same time, probably the same day. And when we talk, we always echo this sentiment. And I always tell him, see, it's not money which we want to make. It is, we want to build an enterprise.
Absolutely.
And
Enterprise, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there are lots of people who, if I started naming the people who helped me to do this in Bridgeway Group and outside Bridgeway Group, there are people who contributed to my growth.
Yeah.
And it's not me. I'm not doing anything special.
Right.
It is the people who actually, like Mr. P.V. Hamid, who is our director.
Right.
He sometimes gives me some small advice, which is worth $1 million.
Right.
And he would just stop by on the lobby and say, Ashraf, did you do this one? Then he once made a statement to me, Ashraf, I just want to tell you, you are growing, but take care of one thing, complacency.
Yeah.
And he walked away.
Yeah.
And on that day night, I came back and I was thinking about this word, complacency. No, because that kind of support, that kind of advice, that kind of thing, that is what makes you,
Absolutely.
And also outside Bridgeway, I have a good number of friends who are really good enough to stop you and say, hey, you are doing wrong.
Okay.
No?
Okay.
Just go back and check. So there are people who can correct you. There are who can give you advice. There are people who can guide you. So this is what actually makes us what we are doing.
I think it's very important that you don't judge people because of what they are today. It's the journey which is taken, and you really don't know which chapter of a person's life you are entering at. Right, you might be entering at the very wrong time of a person's life, or you might be entering in the best of person's time. So I think what you said is absolutely right. I think you need to take every thing critically and correct yourself. I think that's
and pass on.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
exactly what we got, we pass on to the other generation. That's
Absolutely.
exactly what I'm trying to do with my company.
Absolutely.
I got so much of support from my colleagues, even from my first boss.
Right.
Balancer, he is no more. But the way he treated me on the first day in office,
Right.
I still remember the way, how respectfully he treated me, how he answered my questions. So I try to treat every employee who came into the company like that.
Right.
So this tradition goes on, and that is what makes a company. And it's not money, it's not fame. I think Bridgeway Group may not be known for its money, or it's known for its strength, which
fairness foremost.
more
I think
more intangible.
Yeah. I think I've learned that over the last 3 years where I'm over here. The company is all about not money, as you rightly said. It is not profitability which matters.
It's genuine.
And the journey doesn't end at making money, right? Now, keeping all this aside, what next for Bridgeway Medicals? Because I hear that you have now planning to shift, or you have already shifted back to
Today is
India?
my first day.
Yeah, today is your first day in India. I think, what next for Bridgeway Healthcare? What next for you as an individual?
Okay, today I've been coming to India almost
Yeah.
every month. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that I'm coming
Yeah.
first time to India, but today is special because I'm trying to relocate myself to focus on Indian market, and I have a mission, to complete.
Yeah, right.
That mission is I started in 2010, but somehow we never had all the real things to do that. So
Right.
today I can proudly say we have all the tools
Right.
and all the skill sets to do
Right.
that. India is a huge country with a lot of people with diabetes,
Right.
and a lot of amputations, and we have the resources to address this huge problem.
Right.
We have the solutions.
Right.
So I want to get these solutions across to
Very
the mass,
Right.
to the layman, to the lowest person who doesn't have access to this one.
Right.
My mission is to ensure the solutions which are cost effective, which are easy to use, which can be used by the layman as well as a clinician, as a combined products, which would help them to have a better quality of life if they
Right.
lost their limbs for some reason. But my main thing is to prevent the loss of limbs, because amputation is a huge problem.
Yeah.
So we are talking about 600,000 to 1 million amputations per annum in India.
Oh my God. Oh, that's
So 1 million people will be jobless. Their families would not able to support them, and they may not able to support their families if they are the breadwinner. So I want to meet every individual who can able to do something on this one. He could be a clinician, he could be a politician, he could be a social worker, he could
Right.
be anybody.
Right.
I want to talk to them and tell them what solutions we have, how we came through,
Right.
and what innovations we did in India, and why these innovations need to be used in India.
Right.
Because I have export markets.
Right.
I export it to Africa.
Africa, yeah.
I have opportunities in Australia. We are doing registrations in Australia and New
Right.
Zealand. So, but my primary focus is
India.
how my products could be used in Indian conditions, how every Indians who would probably need an amputation or who would go into diabetic foot ulcer can be prevented, and told them that you don't need to actually get this wound into such a situation where it needs amp. So we need to prevent it before it get into that level, and we have solutions. We have products which can actually do that, and which are very cost effective.
Right.
Even though it is imported, some of them are imported, but we made the discussions with the Royal and all so good that they are willing to help us in any level.
Right. Right.
The kind of support which I get from companies like this, amazing.
Very nice. Very nice. So I think we have a fair enough idea of what your job is for the next whatever. So I think thank you so much for being here, sir. Welcome to Kerala. Welcome to India. And we are all here to support you for your noble cause. And from my heart, I wish you all the very best. And I'm very sure with
We need you with us.
with your kind of exposure, I'm very sure that you are going to be probably the next newsmaker in this part of avoiding amputation and diabetes and things like that. And we wish you all the very best. And it's been a pleasure to have you today. Very short, but I think our viewers understood what Bridgeway Medicals or Bridgeway Healthcare is all about, and where it stands, and what is the future for Bridgeway. And thank you so much for being here once again, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. And we wish you again all the best, all the very best, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
For our viewers, this is the 12th episode. We are completing 1 year. And thank you so much for being part of this journey. We started off this journey as a experiment which with my marketing team did. And I think today, with 12 episodes down, I think we made it a property where we try to bring in people inside Kerala who is entrepreneurs, doctors, teachers, principals, medical professionals. I think we have tried to do justice, but let me assure you, going forward, you will have much more from us. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day ahead. Thank you.